care. He doesn't care for you. The moment when you realize he's never there for you, when you need him, and every time he's leaving, you feel like he's deceiving you. You never believe him, don't trust him, his behavior is disgusting. You finally realize you gotta get away. All I'm trying to say is, you don't know how
Hey, if you're in here, say what's up.
Just to put me down. And every time I turn around, my heart is broken. I'm picking the pieces of the ground. I had enough. Ooh, enough. The moment when you realize it's over. It's finally over. The moment you feel the weight lift off your shoulders. I gave you my all and you thought it was a game. I let you go take it back and then you do the same. Can't believe I was about to take your last name. That would have been a shame. And all I'm trying to say is, you know how to appreciate. Trying to do it now is a little too late.
Hey, say what's up if you're in here. Let us know and make sure that you share this live.
Just to put me down. And every time I turn around, my heart is broken. I'm picking the pieces of the ground. I had enough. Ooh, enough. If you had enough, then put your hands up. Enough.
Hey, Danielle.
If you had enough, ladies, stand up.
No. What did I do? Hey, Renee.
Just to put me down. I'm picking the pieces of the ground. I had enough. Ooh, enough.
Make sure y'all like and share so people can know that we're on. We'll get started in just a minute.
I'm gonna get his password. Kinda see if my man is cheating on me. I'm gonna get his password. What's a relationship without trust? Oh, I'm gonna get his password. Maybe it's his birthday. Maybe his mother's first name. I'm trying to get into his Facebook account tonight. I see too many females liking
toxic.
pics. I know a lot of girls like these chicks, and they're the type to have your man out here creeping on the low, freaking on the low. And I ain't saying that I don't trust him, but how am I supposed to know if he's creeping on the low, freaking on the low? I know I'm really insecure, but I'm gonna get his password. I'ma be all in his DMs, trying to see if my man is cheating on me. I'm gonna get his password because I don't know about
What was the whole song play, or are you gonna start it?
We good?
Nine.
Just keep rolling.
Started to get frustrated.
What it? Let me turn my do not disturb on.
All right. So we got 9 people on here, but I only see 2 people in the comments. So what's going on? Where y'all at tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Do I gotta start tagging folks? Say what's up. Let us know you're here so we can go ahead and get started.
If y'all in here, let us know you're here in the chat so we can get started. You know, we want to shout you out to the community. Let the people know who's in the building.
All right, I'm about to start tagging folks. Just give me 1 second.
Go back to playing music.
I see 10 now. Who else be in here? Oops. Hey, Siobhan. This your first time with us?
Is that including YouTube too? Your number you have, or is that just on Facebook?
I mean, I can't see who's on YouTube unless they say something.
Okay.
Well, welcome. Glad you were able to catch us tonight. We just usually wait till we get a few people on here. Let us know that they're in the comments so that when we get started, we can shout them out. But we're going to go ahead and get started here in a few minutes regardless. Hey, Juanica. I don't think it's me and Sherelle friends. Oh yeah, we is.
Might as well get rolling.
All right, let's do it. Chell said I ate it again. Welcome back.
Alrighty.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Russell the Force.
And it is me, Brandy.
And welcome to another week's kickback of the What They Never Told Us podcast. Welcome back. As always, you know, we got the gang in here with us. Who do we have with us today?
Today we have Danielle, Renee, Siobhan, Juanica, Chels, and Shayla.
Beautiful.
There's more people in here, but they ain't spoke up and said nothing, so we can't shout y'all out. So,
they're trying to be incognito today.
I guess.
It's all good. They'll ease into it. For those of y'all who are engaged, kicking it with us, how many of you guys have had a chance to listen to the episode? Have you heard it? Are you working your way through it? Have you started it? Let us know.
I didn't listen this time, and I had to, like, right before we came down here, I tried to fast forward so I could remember what we talked about, so I ain't sitting here looking stupid, because I remember the clip, so I'm like, okay, I know we talked about kids and stuff, but I had to go through. Juanica says she did. I think that's the only one that I see so far.
Okay. I didn't listen, but I didn't listen either.
Danielle says she did.
Okay. But I heard some really good feedback. There was a comment. I can't remember if it was on YouTube or what, but somebody left a really dope comment about after listening to the episode and how it resonated with them. So that's our prayer for every episode. It's like, yo, just God, we just hope the people that need this, you know, work the algorithm, make it show up on their screen or something, make them come across it. So I was glad to hear that for sure.
Chell says, I haven't listened to it yet, but it's the only one I got left. I'm almost caught up. I remember last week. So you've been listening, because you was like, she was behind. Now she caught up in a week. So thank you for that. Thank you for listening. And this was a good episode. It was more vulnerable. We're usually open, but we try to steer away from the sensitive stuff that has to do with, like, other people, other parties in our family. But this time we kind of let the fourth wall down a little bit and put all my business out there, which I'm okay with because like I said on the episode, who gonna track me? But I think it was good to just really get that out there because we dance around a lot of stuff trying to be careful not to upset anyone. But sometimes the truth just need to be told. And so we did that.
Absolutely. So it was a good episode. I want to do this segment again. What did you think about that?
Go ahead.
So, if you were here last live, we did a talking point segment where we bring up anonymous situations, and I have one that's kind of around what we're talking today. Not really, but it's got something to do with children and family or whatever. So, closest thing I can find. But this anonymous person says, if I had a vasectomy and then started dating a woman who wanted to have more children, would I be wrong not to tell her until it got serious?
Yes, you're wrong not to tell her. Is that a real question?
It was. I thought it was quite humorous in the amount of like, you know how you could put the laugh face?
Yeah.
They tearing him up in the comments. It was so stupid. It was just the closest one that I could find that has something to do with like children and family.
When it's like that, then don't get a related one because it's like duh.
So I got a good.
Say something.
So I got a good one that has nothing to do with the episode.
Okay.
Should we just roll with that? Okay. Anonymous. So my childhood friend didn't show up to my girlfriend's birthday party and hasn't shown up for the last two. He was honest and told her he prioritized someone else's event and said he just sees her more of an associate. She obviously was hurt and thought he was more like family, considering we all hung out together a lot. So I asked him and he said, I'll respect her because she's your girl and she will always be invited to my events. But if y'all broke up, I probably wouldn't talk to her. But hi and bye if I saw her out. So now whenever I hang around him or mutual friends, she's saying you are choosing him over me. And we were born together. And for 2 years now, we've been together for 2 years now, and I've known him for 20 plus years. I understand how she feels, but I don't want to stop coming to events just because she doesn't like him. What do I do? Am I wrong?
I feel like the people in these groups just need to get a little bit of common sense. Like
she like him.
She like the friend?
Yeah, that's too weird. Like, why you so invested in if he comes to your birthday party and like why are you so focused on this one person not coming to your like birthday party?
Okay, so if like we hung together a lot, like couple stuff, or he just your boy and he come over and kick it, and then I have a birthday party and he don't come, it's gonna be a little odd, like, yo, why wasn't he there? But after you get his reasoning, then you just have to let that go. I think she's just petty and she's childish, she immature, and he is too, for like trying to make it seem like he has to choose between his best friend and his girl. Like, she got to get over it, and you don't have to choose.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a fair assessment. Like, he's like, yo, I mean, if y'all broke up, I'm not gonna keep talking to her. It'd be like a hi and bye.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I
your
mean?
girl.
That's your girlfriend. Like, you're my friend. That's your girlfriend. Like, it's all cool. But I have another friend that's having an event, and it's just weird to me the level of anger that she got to that. Like, now when you go hang on him, it's like you're choosing him over me. What? Why do I have to choose sides? This is my friend for 20 plus years.
I'm going to probably guarantee that they are under 30. No offense to anybody that's under 30, but that stuff matters in that stage of life. Like,
really?
Who your friends are.
You didn't come to my party?
Yeah, that stuff matters. Like,
I'm so glad I missed that phase.
The social aspect of your 20s is a large part of that era in your life. But I think after, like, I mean, it depends on your level of maturity too, but just like after 30, you start to realize like the quality of friends is better than the quantity of friends. And if you just want to be close with him because he's close with your man, like, that's your man's friend. Let them continue their little friendship And you're just an accessory to that. Like, you don't have to butt in on that. He don't have to come to your parties. You don't have to come to his. Like, that's his friend. If he invites you, that's a cordiality. That ain't a necessity.
Yeah, that's a really good assessment. You're right. This is definitely an under 30 situation. Because when I read it, I was like, this is stupid. Like, this is dumb. But that makes total sense.
Renee said, break up with her. Exactly. That's what I'm feeling like. Just cut your losses now, because she's going to be petty about everything. Today is your best friend. Tomorrow's going to be your mama. You need to let her go now. What's up, Shanika? How you doing? Juanika says, sis needs to get out her feelings, period.
Yeah, that's childish. That's really childish.
I mean, like, I don't want to put, the situation out there unless you bring it up. But we had a similar situation. Like, in something like that, I can understand why I would be like, yo, that's wrong. You should have been there. But it's just a birthday party. Like, I'm talking about the wedding.
Yeah. I'll see how it connects.
What do you mean?
Like, you were mad at that?
I wasn't, or I was?
You were?
I was.
Oh, yeah, that's different. Yeah.
Like,
we're
I think
married. It's a wedding. You're my wife.
Yeah, that's a different level of like, okay, I'm upset about that.
For sure.
That's your friend. You should have been there.
For sure.
But it's just your birthday party. Like, God willing, you'll have another one.
If I threw your birthday party, he didn't come down. I don't think I'd be.
I would not care.
I wouldn't press. And if you were pressed, I'd be like, why you care so much? Like, am I missing something?
I would not care if your friend didn't come to my party.
That's weird.
That's just dumb. Now, if one of my friends, like if I invited Shayla to my birthday party and she didn't come, I'm going to be upset until I know the reason, right? And she better have a good reason
it's your
why
friend.
she wasn't there.
It's your friend. Yeah.
But not the other way around.
But if it's my birthday party and Shayla don't come and I say, yo, that's messed up. Like, I thought we was better than that. Like, I know her since middle school.
Yeah, nah.
Yo, and every time we go hang with her, like, what's up with that? Like,
You got
that's
an
weird.
attitude? Yeah, that's straight.
That's really strange. Yeah.
Shanika says she's doing good, so that's great. Shayla says very childish. And is this Otto? Hey, Otto. I don't think you've ever been on with us before, so what's up?
Welcome.
Welcome. Misha said, what up, though? Shayla said, we friends too, Russ.
Of course. Absolutely. What up, though? So, yeah. That was the anticlimactic anonymous for today. It was just, those were stupid. I had to bring it up because I was sitting there like, this is dumb.
You need to go further back in the archives of the group. You got to come with something better next week.
I have a lot of good ones, but I have like 6 on my phone, but they're all sexual. They just seem too far off topic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll save it for the sex episode. I got some hitters for that one. It's like, ooh, that's juice.
I can see that.
Yep.
Oh, hey, Brittany, I missed that. What's up, girl? How you doing? So episode, what did we talk about? What did we start off with? Oh, we started off talking about my injury.
Oh, on the episode?
Yeah.
Give the update to the fam.
An update. My fingers are still tingling, but most of the pain has gone away. So they found out that my arm is not broken nor fractured, which praise God for that. So I'm gonna have them go back and look at my shoulder just because it's still a little stiff. I can't punch if I need to. Don't nobody take that as an opportunity to run up on me because I still get down.
Ain't nobody. You are a suburban soccer mom. That's not your life no more. You have no beef with nobody no more.
But yeah, so it's good. It's good right now.
That's what's up. What else did we talk about?
We talked about me eating bread off the floor when he said crazy.
We're not gonna talk about you eating bread off the floor no more. I'll let it die. But yeah, I think the main part was us airing out all your dirty laundry.
Yeah.
He ain't dirty laundry really, but
wasn't dirty laundry, but you was definitely telling my business. Rye Gibson says LMBO, she had to throw out that gangster side of her. Real quick, just to let them know in case anybody got an idea.
Ain't nobody standing.
Still with it.
Yeah, no, this was, I definitely didn't put your business out there because I was like,
yeah, you was a little apprehensive to talk about it. Like,
and then you said, who gonna check me? So I said, oh, we out here then.
Period.
So yeah, I think we're definitely getting more comfortable being a little more vulnerable because first season, I never would have talked about this. First season of the podcast, we were tiptoeing around everything. Our first sex episode, I was like sweating, like, oh my God.
First, second, or third season, you still would have been like, you shouldn't have said that.
Now, by the third season, when we got into marriage counseling, it was just like, okay, at this point, we arguing on the podcast. Like, oh, they in the room with us, they family.
Hey, Christy. My cousin Christy's in here. She said, looking good. Thank you so much.
What up, though?
So, yeah, basically what we talked about in the first half was kind of like parental participation in raising kids. So as we have told y'all before, my oldest is graduating next Friday from high school. And of course, all those fun graduation activities come with it. Senior dues. They have to pay for everything. Living, breathing, parking at this point. What else do we have? The open house.
I'm over it.
He's going to Hawaii. He's going to college. So it's a lot of cost associated with that. And I think it's all coming to a head now that this is like the final big step before he's off in the world on his own. And we were just talking about the level of assistance that I get from his father, which is pretty much zero. Get a lot of excuses, get a lot of, I ain't working, but you're living. So like, how is this going? Because I've sacrificed a lot. And for you to just not have sacrificed anything, I'm starting to feel a little slighted. So how do we deal with those things? And he and Russell are going to be coming face to face here in a few short days. And so we kind of talked about what's that going to look like? How do you feel around that? Is there anybody who has this co-parenting dynamic that's kind of coming to the head as your children get older? I was really talking from a place of, I know that I'm not a single mom now, but when I was a single mom, I know I wasn't the only one who was trying to do it all with no assistance. And I talked about some of the feelings that come along with that, the shame, the guilt, the frustration, the pride, that, keep you locked in this cycle. And I've been in this cycle with him now for 18 years and I'm ready to get off the roller coaster. So while it's coming to a head like that, I'm also excited that I ain't really got to deal with this nigga no more.
I feel like I do feel a lot of tension around both of the parental partners. It's a great deal of tension.
He said, what was you thinking when you picked these?
You get a pass on the first one because you were young, and so hey, it wasn't in your plans. It just kind of happened.
Still some red flags I should listen to.
But honestly, like this is still your seed. I have no disillusion that when you come here, you're not going to be proud. I'm not going to be mad that you're proud. You should be proud. Like, this is your flesh and blood. Mm-hmm. He's graduating high school, and regardless of what happened in life, regardless of what you've been through, it didn't affect him, and he still made it. So you should be pleased as punch. That's not the issue. The issue is that the fact that you just MIA financially.
Mm-hmm. Emotionally.
So you can be proud, but don't walk around here like I did it, because that's gonna tick me off. This isn't a deterrent, or this isn't me saying it to be negative, or me saying that like I have an issue with it, because when I signed up for this and when I chose this, I chose it under the mindset like, no, if I'm gonna be a man in the household, it's about sacrifice, right? So I don't do that begrudgingly. But I do it with a complete view of the picture of you not doing this, and this your flesh and blood. So you walk around here like, oh, hey y'all, hey, like that. I'm anxious about it. I'm anxious about it. I have a question, and I want to know do we have comments before I go on?
Yeah, no, go ahead, ask your question, and I'll read them.
If your significant other remarries, should you still have to provide child support?
So here we go. Shayla says, I feel like some people aren't capable, and some people just have excuses, meaning baby daddies. Tamika Harris says, I'm dealing with a deadbeat mom, and it blows my mind. Shayla says, Russ, you got this. You gonna kill him with kindness, period. That has been my advice as well.
I'm gonna avoid him. He gonna get a real strong handshake like, what's up? You good? Bring him for the strong shoulder, and then I'm moving out the way.
Shayla says, HE double hockey sticks. Yeah, you do. And I agree. Like, somebody remarrying doesn't negate your responsibility as a parent. Even if I don't need no help no more, like we are multimillionaires, you still like put money away in a trust fund or a savings account, or still provide. Like, just because I have money doesn't mean that now you get to skimp out on what your responsibility is, especially if you're not there physically to help provide and raise and nurture. The very least you can do is still contribute to it financially.
So on my end, I am not the was predominant parent. What is that? The custodial parent. What is that?
Mm-hmm.
What's the term? I don't know. But their primary living address is with their mother for my biological children.
Yes.
We do split time, and it's pretty even, but most of the time they're at their mother's. So there's more of an understanding on my end. I still pay child support. But there's been conversation like around tax time. I've gotten this a couple times. Then I'm always leaning on the side of like sacrifice, like, oh man, like, don't even trip. But it was like, well, I don't got two incomes, so you gonna claim one of the kids. I'm like, well, that's what we always do. You claim one, I claim the other one. So now that there's additional income, that doesn't change the need, because I'm still providing for these two. There's an additional 3 over here. So
in that instance, I think it's a different set of circumstances than what I would advise somebody else, because the tax rules say that you can only claim 3 kids and get reimbursement for them.
Yeah.
So we have 3 and,
Well, no, that's too, that information is not salient to what I'm talking about, because that's a new situation. And that's only because of the situation with your other parent, your co-parent.
Mm-hmm.
But the year before that wasn't the case. He claimed some of them, right? And you didn't claim all 3.
Right. I claimed 2. Right.
Yep. And even with the 2 that you claimed and the 1 I claimed, that tax money was a breeze in the wind with everything that we got over our heads. So that money came and was gone. Oh, wow. Okay. Gone already? Cool. All right. We're good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just heavy on like, when your co-parent remarries, like, your obligation to your children doesn't change. And I don't like the pocket watching. Like, you got it, you got this,
Nah.
Oh, she work here, you get what?
No.
You know what I'm saying? And on the other end, like, I know that wasn't said, but I know that was a factor.
Yeah.
Like, he was doing, like, from early on, the conversation was like no, there's issues, but on this front, I'll have nothing to say. Like, he provides, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
this is baby daddy number 2 for all those who might be confused.
And I was like, oh man, bet. You know what I'm saying? Cool. And I wasn't tripping because I'm handling stuff on my end and to balance it out because he's supporting for his children. Because cool. And then all of a sudden, that just does become important no more.
Right.
And it's like, nah, I'm not gonna do that no more.
Yeah. So for those who aren't keeping up, baby daddy number 1 doesn't contribute at all. Baby daddy number 2 was contributing a significant amount, then cut that down, and then decided that he didn't want to do nothing. And I won't say didn't want to do nothing. He didn't want to do anything regularly. The only time that he felt he should contribute is if the kids had something special going on, and then we would split whatever cost that is. So let's say, I don't know, they need soccer equipment, or they got to get new glasses or something like that. Now, mind you, in that situation, I provide insurance for them. And any other extracurricular, mommy, I want, mommy, I need, mommy, can I have? That all comes out of me. He feels as if that when those things come up, I should come and ask him, and then he can decide whether or not he want to contribute to that. So that's what Russell was talking about. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to read some comments while we go through that, because that's going to get me frustrated. So everybody says, heck yeah, they do. Yes. Hey, Ashley, welcome. Christy says, yes, you should pay because that's your kid. Okay. Christy also says, you're a good man, Russell. And Tamika says, the pocket watching is the worst. Yeah.
So when I put myself in the other scenario, right, I'd be lying to say, like, say my co-parent remarries a surgeon, and they good. I'd be lying if I wasn't like, I mean, do they need this much? But ultimately,
It ain't.
As a man, I'm like, I'm gonna do for mine.
Yeah.
I don't care what man comes in the
And
picture.
you shouldn't
Like,
have to ask.
yeah, you're not gonna have to ask. You know what I'm saying? If anything, I'm probably gonna want to like be more like, hey, look, no,
Yeah.
these mine. Hey, they good. You need some glasses broke. I got it. Nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it's important that they know, and it's good that like kids aren't so knowledgeable of the in and outs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and I don't want to put so much emphasis on the money because being present is far more important, right? Like, because there's so many people, because they can't do financially, they just feel like they can't be around at all. So I do think being present is more important. And to his credit, he's very present. You know what I mean? He don't skimp on like getting his kids, and all respect to that. But I just, man. And he's at the age now, you know, our oldest, where he sees stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's observing. Now it's like, oh, okay. I see what's going on. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna read some comments. So first of all, Renee, where you been? She said these men really chap my khakis.
Chap my.
Who you been hanging around?
I'm still in that. That's in my vocabulary.
Shayla says, I was hit with your mom got a new job and I'm struggling. So why do I have to suffer? And when I got married, that was another excuse to why he shouldn't pay.
He said you should not pay because your mom got it.
Cause she got a new job. He was like, well, why I gotta pay? Why I gotta suffer when your mom just got a new job and she make more money probably. Yeah, Robinson said that's a tough situation. Juanica says, I was irritated when I was told he didn't help me because he knows I'm not gonna let my kids go with. Stacy is here. Hey, Stacy. Bree Nicole says, at the end of the day, your child is your responsibility, with or without having a spouse.
Regardless.
So many good comments in there. I wanted to go back to Shayla's because I think it's kind of speaks to what you were just talking about. So she had got married and it was like, oh, well, it's two of y'all. It's one of me. So why do I got to do it? And in the instance where like we don't need as much help, I'm okay with like, okay, put it in an account for him. You know what I'm saying? Like if we was really good and coasting and didn't need no money, like I don't need you to give it to me to help me pay the light bill or whatever. Yeah. But put it in an account. These kids gonna go to college, or maybe they just want to go buy V-Bucks, and why that always got to come out of my pocket every time? Have them account where they can pull out and get what they need. It's a constant, so whenever your kids need it, they can go into it and grab it. If you don't feel comfortable sending it to me, cool. You don't know what I'm gonna do with it? Cool, send it to them. But just to think that you don't have to do it at all, because the other person is well off, that just makes absolutely no sense to me. I've never understood that. And on my end, when each have decided I'm not going to do nothing or I'm going to stop doing something, like for me, it just means that I have to go harder. And I think I said this on the previous episode, like when I'm outstretched and overworked and frustrated and broke, like I'm not the best version of myself for my children. As the person that has the primary custody of your kids and you know all it takes to raise a child, or maybe you don't even know, you should be willing to do whatever it is to alleviate that stress off of me, because I'm the one carrying the brunt of the work. And if it's $25 or if it's $250, like you should do it. And nobody should have to tell you that you have to do it, meaning the child support people.
Absolutely. And it sucks though, because like the system is so jacked up. Like the child support system in general is so at times unfair to the dad who is doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like it's really designed for the person who
just refuses.
Yeah, for the one who's just like, I'm not gonna do it. And that's what the system is designed for. The problem is, like, I feel like there's no differentiation. Like when you come into the system, you're automatically treated like you the deadbeat daddy.
Absolutely.
And it's like, dang.
Juanica clarified. She said that he said he wasn't doing it because he knew that she wouldn't let him go without.
Yeah, and they take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
Like when they know, oh, you gonna do it anyway. You ain't gonna do nothing. Like they take advantage of it. But ultimately, like on a bigger note, aside from just the financial part, just from an emotional health standpoint, it's so freeing when you just release yourself from the bitterness of doing it by yourself.
That's a process.
It's a process. Whew. But ultimately, when your heart is good, you know why you're doing it, and you know that your decision making revolves around the well-being of your children, then it starts the process of you releasing expectation, because it's like, all right, I know your character. I see who you are. You're showing me who you are. So I know that I have to manage my expectation when it comes to you. And now that I can do that, I can start the process of putting my energy and my emotion into where it needs to be, which is my children. Mm-hmm. And Aaron, we did an episode with Aaron, who was raising boys to men. He made a great point that is really sticking with me, and it's something that I brought back to my mind throughout this process because it's really freeing. It's like the one mistake that we make as co-parents is focusing on the co-parent. Mm-hmm. It's I got to work with you. I got to work with you. You not doing this. You not doing that. And your energy goes here. Your emotions go here. Your frustrations go here. And in the midst of that, your energy doesn't go to your children. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, and if both of us, regardless of if we get along or not, regardless if I like the way you talk to me, if you respond to my text message in a timely fashion, if you do things to my standard, regardless, if we're both focused on the kids, they're going to be good. They're going to be good. And that is the whole point of this, is to bring kids from childhood to adulthood in the best way possible. If we can do that, we did it.
And that's why I think I'm not as rigid with number 2, because it's like, you're there, you're present. And if I need, I know, or if not even I need, if they need, I know that you'll provide. But I'm not going to lie on this podcast and say that is an easy feat when you know your kid is the focus. You do everything for them and somebody decides they just don't want to help you. It's very difficult to not see that and get upset and get frustrated. And that's where I think in this episode we turned about talking about just how God is so present in these situations. I can say for sure that that's the only reason why he's now here and graduating and going to do the great things that he's going to do in life, because I fumbled and I struggled and I did get lost in the you ain't doing this, and took my energy off where it was supposed to be. And I just thank God for his grace and his mercy in that situation, because even though we went out with the luxuries, we ain't never went without the necessities. And man,
it's none but God. It's none but God. And ultimately, speaking of God, like, I don't know if this is, I'm just going to say it. So like, Jesus dying, the blood that was shed for sins were not just the sins committed against God, but he also shed his blood for the sins that were committed against you. Not just for the sins that people commit against God, but also the sins that people did against you, the things they said to you, the things they did to hurt you, people not being there for you in the way they should, people leaving you alone to mother and play father to children. Like, that blood that was shed wasn't just for their sins against God. Nah, it's for what they did against you. And if it's good enough to cover your sins, it's good enough to cover theirs. And ultimately, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. And his get back is way better than mine.
Oh, that's facts.
Like, when he spin the block, like, it's so like, I'm just trying to release and be like, because this is new to me. Mm-hmm. This is like, you've got a Fort Knox wall built up of just, I know what to expect.
Period.
This is all new to me, and the more invested I get in them, and the more the deeper I fall in love with them, the more my heart gets hardened to it. And I try not to. The other day, you rolled down the window, and he came to my side, and I was like this. I was gonna turn and do like a nod, but then my neck got tight, and I was like, just look for it. Jaws got all tight. I said, why is she gonna roll down my window?
It's because I don't want to deal with him neither.
I'm gonna roll down my window. He gonna come on my side. He's staring.
It's really hard. word, guys. So I'm gonna read some comments. Shayla says, "I told my baby daddy, what you send can only buy tampons and Happy Meals. Don't count my ends." Period. Sis.
Did you read the one above that, Tamika?
I don't know. Read
She said, "I wish my husband would put more effort into telling his baby moms to contribute. She don't do absolutely nothing, but talks to the child via phone once a year." And I'm not exaggerating. That's just,
and you know what? That
hurts.
We talk a lot about baby daddies, but like
they more notorious for it.
The
but
truth is, it's moms out here that fall into this category too.
Facts.
And I don't know why. And it's really not more egregious, but to me, it feels more egregious when it's the mom. Like that thing is like a literal part of you. Like you carried it, you birthed it, however you got that baby into the world. It was hard. Either way, it was C-section or natural. You struggled to get it here, and then you just like, my part's done. Explain to me, sis.
I think not all the time, and women are not monolithic, but I think usually women are more resilient when it comes to nurturing and when it comes to being loyal in relationship. Not all the time, but especially as it pertains to children, it's more likely that you see the man who has the ability to detach and remove himself in the picture. It's rare you see a mom do that. So there is a little bit more sting when it's mom.
Yeah.
It's a little more sting. Like, I think the way in my mind, just from my context, I'm like, I know she's not going to be there. You know, like regardless, this right here, until the Lord call her home, this relationship is solid.
Yes.
You know what I mean? She could be mad at me. I could still go over there and say, Mom, I'm hungry.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when I think of that just idea of what a mom is, you know what I mean, versus the idea of what a dad is, it seems more egregious.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a double standard that I wholeheartedly agree with. If sis was like, well, men get away with it all the time, so I'm just going to take my little break. I'm like, you a trifling lady. I almost said it that way.
That little space between trifling and lady was really telling.
I almost said it that way.
There's a real telling space right there.
Like, come on, lady.
Nah, for real.
Come on.
For real. And that is sad. And it's the children that suffer. So, prayers to you and your family. We definitely going to call that out because it hurts for the children. It's really the children that suffer. Shayla says, I told my baby. Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah. But Robinson says child support system is weird for sure.
Hey, look, when we got separated, I was so focused on that. After my first marriage.
Don't take me to child support.
I said, no, I didn't say that. I was like, so look, here's my plan. Here's what I'm thinking. Because, I mean, but like when your context is all you know is a 2-parent home, there was never a context where I was used to, you know what I'm saying, trying to do this with one check.
Right.
So when you start talking about separating, that's a scary thought. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
I'm going to suffer.
Figure it out, yeah.
So the one thing I was like, hey, look, I am not that type of person to where I'm going to leave. I'll eat ramen noodles every day of the week before my kids go hungry. Or I just won't eat before they don't eat.
Period.
You know what I mean? Like, so I know it's scary, but I need you to trust me when I say I got you. Now, on top of that, though, for me to do that, I think there's a way we can work this out amongst ourselves. You feel me?
Are you trying to finagle your ways out of that child support court? Nobody want to see friend of the court.
Like, here's my plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, is this good? Because, like, nothing against friend of the court, but it's like, the numbers they put in the air for what it takes to raise a child, be like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even live on that. Like, I don't require that. Yeah. Like, if I'm spending that much, it's because I'm being frivolous. That's like me not going to the grocery store. That's McDonald's every day.
See, I had the opposite experience with friend of the court because they actually, at the time, what he was giving me, they calculated less. Because when you go through a divorce, you have to...
Less than what he
was paying me.
Well, he came in hot. I think he knew. He knew he wasn't friend of court. He was like, I got you. Look, here, take this.
I wasn't mad at that.
When you told me what you was getting, I was like, yo, that's wild.
I wasn't mad at that. You know what I'm saying?
Now I see why he better. He like, I done did enough. did I not?
I wasn't mad at that. So, like, as a part of the divorce, you don't necessarily have to put the other person on child support, but you do have to talk to the people, and they go through your stuff and calculate the amount or whatever. So we sitting in that office, and I'm thinking, you know, they gonna come in $300, or you know what I'm saying, something like that. And they came in, I mean, it was ridiculous what they came in at. And I looked over at him like, no, we gonna just come up with we got our own agreement, right? Like, I was on that end like, no, you're not gonna listen to them, because if he would have listened to them,
this works out better for me.
I would have been in trouble back then.
You're like, no, big don't know. We got our own thing. Be quiet. Don't say that number.
But I think on the opposite end, like, he knew that if something ever happened and he couldn't do at least even what they were saying,
yeah,
you know what they do? They lock you up. They put warrants out. They garnish your check. Like, they gonna get theirs regardless.
There's some good men who have been raked over the coals by a friend of the court, dads who are present and who do for the kids on top of what gets put out their check. There's stuff they're doing
right
regardless on top of what's getting put out their checks, and that's unfortunate and that's sad. But the truth of the matter is, friend of the court has been a friend to families with a dad who has no intention and should be sitting down in somebody's jail because you just don't think it's important that you are helping raise a child that you brought into this life. Your flesh and blood is out here on the world, and it's one thing not to be present, but for me, if I'm not gonna be there, I'm like, here, you know, get you an Xbox. Like, I'm gonna feel bad.
Get you an Xbox.
I'm gonna feel bad. Like, hey, I'm gonna do the most because, like, I ain't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for you to not be there in any way,
and not
to
contribute.
me, is just like, it sickens me. It sickens me. Like, this is literally an extension of you. They got your face walking around. He built like you, and it's just I can't wrap my mind around it. So for them, yeah, that needs to follow you for a grip. Yeah, you need to not go to a job without them garnishing your check. You need to not come back to Michigan without the threat of them making your butt sit down in the jail, because it's a crime, yo.
Stacy says, my child is good with or without. You a grown man, and I'm not going to tell you to provide, help, or be there, let alone reach out. She got a mama. Now, listen, so
That part.
I don't disagree with that at all, because that is my exact situation. However, I saw an episode, I don't know if it was like Judge Mathis, it was one of the judge shows, where a girl was like asking for help, and Judge Mathis read her the Riot Act because she was refusing to put the man on child support. And he was like, well, now you coming to sue him and ask for something when you've not robbing, you've been robbing your child of that this whole time. Yeah, you can do it, but it's two people in the household and you shouldn't have to. And even if you do what you have to do, what they contribute is just provides more for you to be able to do above and beyond that for your child. And it gave me a different perspective, because I'm like, you know what, you're right. Even if I am able to do it, it doesn't mean that you don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in most cases, like you said, they know that we're just going to take care of it. So it's easy for them to just be like, well, why do I got to do it when I know she's going to do it? They want to go to summer camp. I don't want to pay for summer camp, but because they want to go, they mama going to do it. Like
nah.
Nobody suffers in the situation if they don't do what they supposed to do.
He's like, nah, them Jordan 11s is coming out. I don't want to pay for summer camp. Like, I got to be fresh for the summer. What are you talking about?
You want to read?
Yeah, Chris says, if it is 50-50 physical custody, should the other parent pay for extras at one house when they didn't make the decision or part of the decision on the extras, such as parties, trips, game systems, etc.? My take is, I think not. I don't think you're required to, but I think based on good measure, based on healthy co-parenting systems, and based on sometimes the well-being of the child, sometimes you got to bite that billet. I don't think you're required to. I don't think anybody should say, yeah, you got to, on top of paying child support and the split 50-50 custody, now on top of your child support, now that they're going to Disney World, you got to kick in extra so they can go on the trip. You're not required to do that. But for me, I'm like, because I've been in that position where I pay my child support, but they're going on vacation. I want my kids to have a good time. If I've got it, I'm going to send the money. And I ain't gonna lie, there's been times where I was just like, hey, look, I really want to help, but it's tight. I'll do what I can. But I'm not going to Disney World. You planning a trip, you know what I'm saying, that you ain't got money for, you know. I ain't say that, but in my head, look, I'll do what I can, but I'm gonna be here at work. So you know, but I'm thinking about my kids in that scenario, right? I'm not thinking about the co-parent and the decision maker. I'm like, nah, I want my kids to go to Disney World and enjoy the experience. And what I can do to provide for that, I'm willing to do so. So you just got to, in my opinion, you just got to approach each situation with wisdom and approach it with a kind heart, but also fairness. Yeah.
I agree in some aspects with that. I think for the extras, though, if it was me, I'm not just giving you money to decipher what you want to do with it when it's the extras, right? Tell me what it is, I'll pay for it. But I just don't think that we should be throwing extra money out there to just, when your obligation is already met, extra money for you to decide what you want to do with, how you want to do with it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect that. Like, if I'm taking my kids on vacation, it's because I have the money to take them on vacation. Now, we're going on vacation. If you want to provide extra, cool, I'm gonna take it. But I don't think it's a requirement. If I want to have a birthday party for them, I don't think that you have to contribute to the birthday party. Like, that's a decision that I made unilaterally to do something. So
am I invited?
I absorb the cost of it.
Am I invited?
I mean, you know about it. Like, you can't have them this weekend.
If I can't come to the party, you got it. I can't get no cake. Oh, it's okay. Yep, have fun.
Go ahead.
Juanica says yes, and God always comes through. Yes, he does. Hand claps for that from the What the Nemetos congregation. Danielle Jones says, amen, Brandy. And I was just telling my kids the same thing. Absolutely. Shayla says, there are bills to be paid, and you had a part in making these children. Man, they enjoy that part. Them 2 minutes when you was rolling around, they enjoyed that part. But the 18 years after that, where are you? Man, I'm not going to go there. You had a part. Play your whole part. Not just the part that's fun. All right.
Danielle says my last one graduates this Friday too. Congratulations to him. Misha says some people don't have an emotional attachment to their own children, and that's what I don't get.
Oh, I can't wrap my mind around it. It's
true.
So sad. It's so sad. And the crazy part is, and the sad part is that most of the time when you look at those scenarios, that person as well had a parent that was not present. And there's so much that, like, when you see it like in its fullness, you don't have to, but it makes me give grace, because there's some things that you were taught, literally, that someone sat down and taught you, like, hey, don't do this, look both ways before crossing the street. Literally life principles that someone sat down and taught you. Don't quit a job before you got another one. And then there's the other things that no one taught you, but you just caught it from growing up in that environment. So when you grow up and there's a parent that just was not there, you either see two extremes. You see the person who's like, I'm going to go so hard for my kids, spoiled and rotten. Like,
that was my mama.
I'm going so hard for my kids because I'm not going to do to them, because I know what it feels like. Or you see the opposite, where there's a piece of your heart that's like, I want to do that. I don't want to be that person, but I'm used to this. It's not foreign to me. I grew up with this. My daddy wasn't there. So what part of fathering, in my perspective, from what I've seen from my vantage point, from where I'm sitting, communicates that I'm supposed to be here? Because the daddies I seen, my homie, we grew up around, I ain't seen daddy. So my idea of fatherhood is, it's optional. Maybe you don't think that, but your subconscious carries this thought about what a father is. And when that position is a blank slate and it's just like, I don't know, you can make it what you want it to be. And I think when you look at it, just like, oh, they just don't have an emotional attachment, it makes it, I mean, it is what it is. That is the case. But you got to look at the whole picture, because I got homies that I was close with, that I was elbow to elbow with, that I really couldn't feel like, why not? But when I look at it, like, oh, you don't even know what that looks like. You don't know how to play that role. In your mind, it's an option, because you were an option to your dad. And it's so sad. And it just takes that one person to just break the cycle. If you have not listened to the episode with Aaron, please go listen to that. His story is so powerful, and his testimony is this scenario. and the way that he fueled that into not just his personal journey in parenthood, but the way he has just put a battery pack in fathers and co-parenting and blended families across the world. He in the UK and he's on our radar. We connected with him because he's just making such a difference with that topic, and it's very, very powerful.
All from something that he was missing when he grew up. So it's not impossible to be a great mom or a great dad just because you didn't have that example. And I believe just people just need to hear that. Like, you can be the parent that you never had. You don't know how to be a dad or be a mom, then be what you wanted.
Yeah.
Just think of in your mind when you was a kid, what did you want in a parent? Be that. That's a start. And kids are so, thank God, they're so resilient and they just want you there. They don't really care in what capacity. And I could tell you that for sure because there have been times where I'm just like, I know he ain't about to run to this Negro. And he turned around and run to that Negro.
Facts. Facts.
He's like, I want to go to my daddy house. What?
Absolutely.
Why?
Why you want to do that?
I don't ask, but I be wondering in my head, like, why you want to be under that? But
they don't
his
know
daddy.
the co-parenting dynamics. Like, to him,
that's my dad.
He's my dad.
And kids just want you there.
And ultimately, that's what's important. The other piece is just as important, but to the child, from the child's vantage point, be present.
They just want you there.
They just want you there. Misha says, that's why these dudes be scared to get a real job. They be working for pennies like they in prison. Shaking my Hey, I know some dudes like, man, I can't get no job. Why? Because child support gonna take it. No, your children are gonna take it. You owe them. You're in the whole $30,000.
Wait a minute, but child support gonna take theirs first, especially if she on assistance. The mama will never see it.
That's sad.
And it's really sad.
The
but
system
she'll
is broken.
Never see it.
That's sad.
My daddy still got a child support warrant. I'm 38.
I'm gonna say that. Say that. Pay up. No, I'm just.
Misha said, I don't know what that's for, but she said, I wish a Negro would. Stacey said, I miss y'all comment towards my post. Service went back. You got to watch it back. She said, I'll watch it later. Robinson says, well said. Shayla says, that's where you have to have healing. Call on God and seek help to better yourself. Very, very true. Bree says, you just can't be out here fumbling. This is not a game. The child is a sole priority in any situation, and it should be prioritized as such.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't be able to pick and choose when you feel like being a parent. That's crazy to me.
Man.
And if for real, and if we got that option, when do I get my turn?
But the real ones, the stable, the stability, the backbone will never choose that.
I wouldn't, but I would like to have the option.
It's
But
not
I don't even have an option. If I don't do it, they go without.
It's not an option. It's really not an option for them. They're just abandoning their post. You know what I mean?
Just give me a week to just be like, you know what? I'm good. I'm not gonna take care. But I couldn't do it.
It's not easy, but I can't even imagine not. You know what I mean? Like,
I couldn't do it.
There are legitimate things that I want for my life, but they are things that will affect how I parent. And as much as I desire it, the thought of being pulled in a different, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like living in Michigan. It's cold here. Like, Houston be calling me. But the thought of being a summer dad, I can't wrap my mind around it. I can't wrap my mind around it. And even when I tried to hype myself to do it, when I talked to my daughter about it, she was like, what? Are you tripped? What? No.
Had an attitude the whole car ride.
The fact that I saw that just how important it was that I'm here.
Yeah.
Just reaffirmed me. Oh, yeah, no, I'm not. Nope.
Yeah, but
baby, I ain't going nowhere.
Baby came home. Baby, we don't think we're going to be able to move to Houston. I talked to Lily and she ain't having it. Excuse me, what?
Yes. I talked to my boss. She said it's not going to work. So we got to change our Zillow search request because this ain't going to work.
Let's see. Misha says, I'm definitely the parent I never had.
And you should
Shout
be.
out to you.
And you should be.
All right. I'm going to need Jenna Aim to get up on out of here. We're going to have to have a moderator the next time. You don't see all this stuff?
I see that she's here watching, but I don't see no comments.
Oh, well. She talking about black magic specialists and love marriage specialists, and she just keeps commenting. So,
oh, Lord.
Renee said,
is this on Facebook or TikTok? Or on YouTube?
It's Facebook. Renee says it's sad. Well, I don't know that. Let me see. Yeah, that's Facebook. It's sad my kids seen their donor at the center and they told my dad we seen not our stepdad.
Who said that?
Renee.
Nah,
They
I know
saw their
you
real
lying.
dad. It said it was their stepdad.
I know you lying.
I wish they would have ran up to him like, stepdaddy. Yeah, no, that's real sad. And I said this on the episode, but to me, like the anger or I don't know, I feel something on Russell's behalf, right? Because it's almost like I feel empathy or sympathy for him because he is a great dad to his kids and goes above and beyond. But there's no separation in how he treats his kids versus how he treats my kids. And the fact that you are extending yourself for 5 children, 3 who don't even belong to you, but giving the same amount of effort and contribution and love and direction and just really fathering them in a way that they have never had. And to see his sacrifices and to see what he does and just be like, y'all don't see this? Because I see it. And like, I don't understand how you could even be comfortable with somebody doing more for your child than what you do.
Yeah.
I can't imagine another woman coming into their lives. I welcome their dad's girlfriend. I welcome if they get married and become wives. But you're not going to outmom me.
Yeah, it's like when she go hard, don't it make you want to go harder?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, she did your hair?
She braided my baby hair.
Watch this.
The next time her hair was braided, I was stitch braid in. I was putting hearts
You watching
in
YouTube videos? Like,
you going
watch
over
out.
Dee Dee's house today?
Come here, sit down.
Did Dee see your hair? Like, you not going to outmom me.
Oh, she cooked what she cooked. Okay, all
I
right.
like it. You like mine better? I just cannot imagine them being under somebody else's roof and them doing more for them than what I do.
But you know what? Once again, Aaron said something I agree with wholeheartedly. Like, I don't look at it like it's a burden. Like the things you do for your
Right,
children,
absolutely not.
you know, it don't feel like I'm doing this for you. You ain't, you know. But I will
I
say
don't
one
have
thing
that
that grinds my gears. You know what it does? It's when you're at the primary address, right?
Mm-hmm.
Financially, the things that you have to do aren't always in the fun category. Like because my biological children, I'm not the primary address.
Mm-hmm.
So when they used to come over my house, it's McDonald's, it's
Yeah.
the movies, it's the fun stuff.
Right.
So in their mind is, we always do this with daddy.
Mm-hmm.
And to mom's the boring parent because they say, oh, mommy sleeps all the time. I remember how to get in, but like, your mom works 40 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
She's with you on school nights. She's with you doing homework. She's doing this. So don't get this twisted. I get to do these things because of all the things she does.
Yeah.
So, but in this scenario with my bonus children, it's the opposite.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's, can we have ice cream? It's, no, we ain't got it. No, not today. We on a budget. This coming out. You trying to go on your Mackinac trip? This, that. He going to Hawaii. We don't got it. But when they go to daddy's, now they don't know. They don't know. he ain't paying no child support. So he's like, my dad gave me $6. He bought me V-Bucks. He do. That's great. It's amazing. He's a great dad. Like, I'm not going to destroy the image.
Absolutely not.
But I ain't going to lie to you.
it feel a little.
My jaw get a little tight.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So
But I'm the bad guy because I'll never forget. He said, well, you're kind of cheap. That was my music budget that you ate last night. I'm cheap. Okay. You know, be like, but it's once again, you can't let your heart get bitter with what's the scripture say? Don't grow weary in well doing. Like, this is a good, reasonable service. You know what I mean? Like, parenting is a blessing, and it's a blessing to be the stability. And they don't see it now. But when the adult things start kicking in, they'll look back and be like, hey, you know what?
They did a lot.
I see what that was. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I don't think kids, even now as an adult, I'm really just getting into an appreciation and understanding of what my mom did. And it really came full circle for me because my brother and his wife just welcomed a new baby. And baby giving them a little bit of the blues. They thought parenting was all rainbows and sunshine. And I got this little person that looked like me, and it's great, right? But my brother said something to me. He said, me and Aaron were talking, and I don't see how single parents do this.
Oh yeah.
And until you're in that situation, you really can't understand the sacrifice. And I think that's what the kids too. They'll never understand until they're in that situation for themselves and they're trying to figure out how to make this, that, and that work all at the same time. As a single parent, you go through every extreme that there is trying to make sure that your kids just live.
I can't imagine.
Not just, oh, you got internet. Oh, you got a latest game. Oh, you got shoes. You got this. No, I mean, you just alive, right?
You got a roof.
Like you got food, water, and a safe place to lay down.
The heat's on. Or maybe it's not. You got on layers of clothes.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
When you're doing it by yourself, that's hard.
I struggle with somebody with one child. So
I did it with 3.
I can't imagine doing it by myself. Yeah.
3 of them things.
That's the question I have. So you just mean like the in person, right?
What?
You don't mean financially. You just mean single parent in the fact that I'm the only one here making sure y'all good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, in either way, like even when you go to your other, like in my situation specifically, when they go to their other parent's house, I'm still the parent.
Yeah, but like the ones who like your situation with, in no way is he like, you're the only.
I'm the only. Absolutely.
Like there's no money coming in, no check. Anybody showing up to be like,
let me give you a day off. Like, nothing.
Like that scenario. So that to me is like, shoo. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't like, I try to talk to my son about that. But again, I never wanted him to know what I had to go through with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he came downstairs one day, broke my whole little heart. You know, I told you the story. He wanted to watch something on TV and it required the internet, and the internet had got cut off. He was like 4 or 5, I don't know. He came downstairs and he like, I want to watch Max and Wooby. Why can't I watch Max and Wooby? And I'm like,
it's the Wooby for me.
He like, the TV not working. I want to watch Max and Wooby and I can't watch Max and Wooby. And I had no money to get my cable and internet turned back on, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm coasting for a long time. Like, oh, he don't even notice. He go outside and play. Mm-hmm. But the moment he noticed and he looked at me with these big eyes and he just, I mean, he literally had a meltdown. I want to watch Max and Wooby. And I sent them upstairs. I'm like, if you're going to have a temper tantrum, you have to go upstairs. And I sat on that couch and I bawled my eyes out because it was something that I don't want my struggle to affect him.
It's the worst feeling.
Right?
It's the worst feeling.
I want you to be able to walk around here like you got $1 million and you don't have to worry about nothing. But when you can't do that and they notice it, it is heartbreaking.
It is. It
really is. I was like, it'll never happen again. It happened again. But I made sure he didn't know it this time. I'm like, come on, you going over Granny house. I sent them on somewhere until I could get it back on because I never wanted to feel that I had let my child down in that way. And that's what it felt like to me, whether it was or it wasn't. I felt like I had let him down. He had got used to living a certain lifestyle and it was getting harder and harder for me to provide that for him by myself.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It does. There's no other way around it. But it's like, it's those hindsight 2020 moments where you look back and be like, I did it. That day was a struggle. But, I mean, at this point, at this stage in the game, when you look back and be like, man, it's nothing but God. He's graduating, honor student, no issues, good kid. Like, the most thing you have to worry about is just normal teenage stuff. Maybe he talk back a little too much. Maybe he's a little bit, what do they call it? When you just expect, like...
Entitled.
A little entitled. But that's just normal adolescent stuff. Like, he's a good kid. And to have that in spite of all these odds against him, like... When you look back on those moments, the Max and Wooby, it's like, it gives you a great appreciation of, like, in spite of look at all. And that's my prayer for everybody who, and I believe like our podcast is like a collection of the people who have just been in the throes of warfare when it comes to marriage, relationships, when it comes to co-parenting, and some of them are in the middle of it. Some people find this platform when they're in the middle of it, and it's like they moving out today, and I need somebody to say something that's gonna give me some hope. Some of them are like in the hindsight moment, but I love the fact that we all can come to this community and say, nah, like we've been there. Some of us been there multiple times, and when you look back on it, when you do your best, when you look back on it, it's gonna make sense, and you'll see that God brought you through. 2 divorces right here. There's people in this podcast I know who've been divorced more than one time. And when you look back on it, you could say, I didn't know how I was going to make it. But when I look back, God brought me through. So if you're listening, if you're listening to the audio, if you're on live right now and you're in the middle of doing a situation, like God is so faithful. He's so faithful. And when he is behind you, there is not an evil, there is not a wayward parent, there is not a divorce, there is no situation that can stand against you.
The old folks say it ain't a devil in hell that
Ain't
can
a devil in hell that can stand against. Old folks just say stuff better.
But hey, listen, it's the truth. And I guess it was just like a piece of encouragement to those who are in this situation, this single parenting, dealing with, or not, maybe not single parent, but you're just dealing with an absent parent. My encouragement to you is, even if you're not a Christian, like God is for you.
Yeah.
Because when I was in that situation, I will tell you flat out, I wasn't no Christian. I wasn't going to nobody's church. I wasn't praying to nobody's God. But he still had me because he knew where I would be. He knew my beginning and he knew my end, and he knew me all in the middle of that. He knew I was going to deny him, but I was still going to need him. And he didn't turn away from me. And I think right now where I'm at, that's what gives me hope, and that's what gives me strength, and that's what helps me be so vulnerable with my experiences, because I know that that's what God wanted. That I went through all of that stuff and I got to the end of me. Like, I don't know no more. I don't know how he gonna eat. I don't know how I'm gonna pay the bills. And he still made a way. Even when I didn't acknowledge him. Even when I didn't care about him. Like, he still cared about us. And that's so dope to me. Like, I almost get emotional thinking about, like, because I was so against it. God ain't for me. I want to have fun. I want to party. I want to do me. And God ain't letting me do that.
He ain't letting me do
He ain't letting me do that. You know,
I can't have fun like I want to have fun.
If God was real, why I'm struggling? If God loved me, why? You know, those things came out of my mouth. And now on the other side, I'm like, because he loved me, he let me struggle and still make it.
Yeah.
Because he loved me, he let me see how low I could get, and then rose me back up. And just like that, my situation was turned around.
Yeah.
And even though I still bumped my head, he never left me.
Ever. He's the God of that turnaround.
That's why that little boy graduating in a week.
That part. And it give me hope. Like, when I see this, like, I came in new to it. All this new to me. I'm new to the feelings of this wrong. I don't know how I'm going to look this man in the face and show respect when I feel like I don't respect you. Like, but when I look at it, because I get to come in at this part, I see the end result. In spite of, I still see the result. So now, even when I'm dealing with the young ones, I'm like, oh, they're going to be good. Like, I ain't worried. Like, because I see what happens when God got his hand in it. And
they got to deal with the retribution of that.
That part.
Because more than they my kids, they his kids. He gave them to me. So if you don't take care of his property, his people, the people that he loved and created, you got to pay for that.
That part.
And like you said, his vengeance is rough. Look, I go 10 toes with me, somebody like me, all day. I don't want to fight with God. So you got to explain that. You got to explain why he blessed you with a seed to see life through, and you not there to take care of it.
Absolutely.
When you get to the gates, good luck.
100%. Not at the gates.
Yeah, at the gates.
You go in the hand.
Good luck.
We got some comments. My boy Rob says that single parent lifestyle, some real life Rambo spit. War, bro. War. Shayla says they will never understand, but you make it happen. I love when you put the but in the right place. They will never understand, but you make it happen. Absolutely. Shayla says kids will realize when they're old enough, and that's a good feeling because they know who took care of them. 100%. Amisha, listen, my child's dad literally got mad because our daughter decided to work. Because I struggle with all of the expenses and she wants certain things she knows I will get, but it's going to take mom a little more time. Her and her dad was in a full argument. I just happened to hear her yelling, saying, "Do you help my mom?" Shaking my head. Look here. How you mad she working when you ain't sending no money? You shouldn't be working. Well,
You should be sending some more money.
Look, I ain't for no kids to respect their parent, but I be sitting there like, tell them, raise your voice. You can cuss, go ahead.
And that's the mentality that my mom had. She was like, as soon as you turn 15, you get a job. I turned 15 January 1st, January 2nd. I was at KFC for an interview. She said, you want nice things? You want a good lifestyle? You see what I do? If you want that, you have to provide that for yourself. And I'm telling you, that's an invaluable lesson that she gets when she learns how to manage her money at a young age. So let her work. And she told him exactly right. Like, do you help? Because if you don't want me to work, you need to send some money for me to get the stuff that I like.
That part. I want the Jordans.
I wanna know
Unless
what
you're
is
going
it.
to send the money, I'm going to work.
I want to know what his rebuttal was.
I do.
You know I'm trying. It's hard out here for me. I just moved to a new city. And how you get the airplane ticket?
Whoa, excuse me. Quit telling
My
people
bad.
business.
I know-
Look at you.
I know
Wow.
I know a little bit too
yeah,
much
a little
about the
too much.
situation.
Look here. Shelly says, preach, keep striving. Sierra says, amen. Dad says, woo. Sierra, that's a reel, Brandy. She says, turn that into a reel. 10 toes and all. Period. Laugh out loud. She said she hung up on him.
Good.
Right, end it. What am I talking to you for? You sending money? Nope. I wish they had the still flip phones. When they had the flip phones, hanging up was more fun.
You can't hang up with no vigor today. I be trying to find the button. I got to turn my phone on when it's sleep.
You got to hit the button all hard, crack your screen. When they had the flip, you could. Yo, and he lives a state away, shaking my head. Look, you see, just put your business out there. I was trying to tell her hush. Yeah, nah.
Tell the truth, shame the devil.
Yeah.
I hope he see it too.
That break my heart. I ain't going there. Listen, y'all. Yeah, this was a good one. This was a good live, and I'm glad. I believe we had the right people on today because the chat was really lit. All amazing comments, all amazing feedback. Y'all are so dope. Really quick, if y'all have some questions, any last minute comments, let us know. If not, hit us with a good night in the comments. And y'all.
Sierra said you can still get that same effect with a laptop. We FaceTiming.
Them screens a little too.
I'm done with you.
That MacBook a little too fragile. I crack that screen, I'm gonna be mad.
And look, Misha said, "Truth is truth."
That's real.
Period. Like if you was doing what you was supposed to do, we wouldn't have nothing to talk about. So don't get mad. And I used to be like, I ain't gonna tell nobody else's story. Now this is my story too, and I'm gonna tell my story. You can get you a podcast and tell your side of it, but I'm gonna tell my side.
The deadbeat. The deadbeat podcast.
Everybody say good night, good night, good night.
Good night. I put the Cash App in the description if anyone wants to. We appreciate any donations. This is all made possible by y'all, our faithful viewers.
For those listening, the Cash App is what they never told us. $ what they never told us.
Absolutely. We appreciate y'all. No pressure, but all the pressure. If not, this is going to be our last episode. No, I'm joking. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And we love.
Sorry. We got some more comments. I'm going to just read these because these is good. Robinson says, great episode. Blended families got mad complexities. Appreciate y'all sharing and navigating it with grace. Renee says, it definitely was a good live. Y'all got me ready to dress in all black and beat him down.
Well, don't do that.
That was the opposite of what we said. Let God get his vengeance.
Look here. Look here.
It was the opposite of what we said,
Don't
Renee.
beat down their stepdaddy.
But if you need backup.
I got my ski mask. Say less.
All Good night. We love y'all too, and we love live. You ain't gonna do it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't listening. I thought you was
I
listening
said
to the
good night,
comments.
y'all. We love y'all too,
And y'all should love. Did I say it right?
No,
And
just bye.
one more time. Hit us one more time. Give me one more take. One more take. Come on.
Good night, y'all. We love y'all, and we love.